It was Thanksgiving Day. Justin, my son, was coming for dinner. I wanted the house to look nice, so I dug through some boxes and pulled out some Christmas decorations. I figured that Dax, the cat, must have gotten into some of the Christmas boxes while I was busy decorating, because this little guy showed up in my kitchen. Dax will sometimes carry toys around the house. I didn't recognize the toy, but this looked like something Dax would do. It was a cute little vintage elf that must have been in with some of Mom's old stuff. I absent-mindedly tossed it up onto the piano to get it off the floor and out of the way. Later that day, as I continued to tidy up, I noticed some other vintage toys up there on the piano. They were arranged as if they were having a conversation. And the elf was in the tree. I didn't notice him land in the tree when I tossed him up there earlier. It was a cute scene, but I was curious because I didn't remember having seen those toys before. Thanksgiving dinner was a joyous feast with roasted chicken, mashed potatoes, gravy, and cranberry, with pumpkin pie and seized candies for dessert. Next day, I noticed the elf and reindeer in the wreath. How cute, I thought. Justin must have put them there. It seemed like a reasonable explanation. What I couldn't explain was how my dining room table could go from neatly stacked boxes of candy to boxes of candy strewn all about. I knew this wasn't the cat. This didn't look like Dax's work. I was perplexed and even a little spooked. I decided to check the security camera. This is what I found. On 11/28 at 14:02, the elf and reindeer nudge open a box of C's bridge mix. At 14:06, elf making off with the C's lollipop. Next day, the elf headlong into the bowl of candy. With Dax's help, I was able to catch the little guy. I made him explain himself before I let him out. Here's what he told me. He told me that each year Santa comes down from the North Pole on Thanksgiving Day to ride in the Macy's parade. He brings with him a team of logistical elves who help him pre-distribute the toys by dropping them off at designated staging areas. It turns out that my house is a designated staging area. It has been used as a drop-off point for generations because of its ideal location and sprawling rooftop. Winkie and Jingle were sent here to handle a drop-off. While here, Winkie tripped over one of the bags and went tumbling down the chimney. Jingle jumped down after him to help him back up, but it was too late. Winkie had already seen the chocolates. He couldn't resist. Without warning, he dove headlong into a bowl of bridge mix. Jingle knew they were in deep trouble. This was a strict breach of protocol. Elves and their helpers were not allowed to enter the homes without special permission, especially not now during this pandemic. It turns out that elves are very susceptible to the coronavirus because they're so small. Because Santa is dwemer crafty, of course, he heard about this right away and got here just as soon as he could break away from the parade. He scolded Winkie severely for breaking protocol. He told him that under no circumstance would he be allowed back to the North Pole until he underwent a 2-week isolation period and COVID testing. Winkie was instructed to stay put and to lay low. But all the candy around proved to be too much for Winkie. He couldn't resist it, and he gave himself away. That's how I caught him. Once I discovered him and heard his story, I was delighted to have him as a house guest and share my seized candies with him. I have more than enough for the both of us. In addition to what I buy for myself, sometimes it just shows up on my doorstep. Seized candies is a special treat for elves because they can't get it up north. Seas insists on using only the finest and freshest ingredients, and those are hard to come by at the North Pole. Winkie and Jingle have been enjoying their stay. I'll let them eat whatever they want. Winkie and Dax have become good friends. Winkie even ordered Dax this special Christmas sweater direct from the North Pole. Dax loves it. I'm happy to say that both Winkie and Jingle feel fine and have not been exhibiting any signs of COVID. Their tests have come back negative. And since Winkie is managing to stay out of trouble, Santa says he can stay until Christmas Eve. Santa also said that he will bring me something extra special this year as a thank you for my hospitality and all the trouble he put me through. I said, no trouble at all. The pleasure was all mine.